was a single question. She said, "Can you teach my girls hope?" And she followed it up by saying, "I can teach them subjects. I need somebody who can teach them hope." And as I walked out of
No, but
her,
I'm curious. What did you reply to her?
I
Yes?
said, "We can
No?
try." I said, "I'm sure." I wasn't, I didn't have a ready-made solution there. I said, "Sister, I'm sure. Let me go back and come back to you." And I
Mhm.
remember coming back, getting into my car, and quickly Googling saying, "What is hope?" Okay. And of course, there's a lot of research, there's a lot of thought process around it. So I spent the next 3 months, Rashmi, trying to understand hope. And then I've got, I think, some theoretical understanding of it. So in order to get the best understanding, I started looking at who are the people who've done a lot of work in hope.
Mhm.
And I recognized that, through my research, that Professor Rick Miller, from Arizona State University, and he's also the CEO of Kids at Hope in the US, has done 30 years of work in making children hopeful.
Mhm.
And his NGO is called Kids at Hope. I remember writing a random email to him one evening saying, "Sir, I wish to make children hopeful. I don't know what it is from a science and a theory and doing it right standpoint, right? Can you teach me?" And the response came, you don't know, I was dancing in my house when I got the response. I
I
said,
can understand.
I remember my niece was with me that day. I ran into her room and I said, "Professor Miller has responded." And she said, "Who's he?" I said, "Oh, okay, okay." So, here's the context to the whole thing. So I remember setting up a call with him late one night and we were talking. He asked me, "What is it that you want to do?" I said, "I want to go back, at least work in this one school to begin with, make the girls hopeful. That is the journey that I want to begin. And is it possible?" So what exactly is hope? And we were on a call for about an hour or more. And then he spoke about how hope is three things. He said one is, hope is always about setting goals and being future focused. The second, he said, is it's about believing you have the agency and the capacity to go after those goals. The third, he says, is figuring out multiple pathways to make those goals possible. He said these three are distinctive behaviors and people can be trained. Hope is a toolkit that you can design and teach people. And he said, Jacinta, if you undertake this work, I'm telling you, it's a lifetime of work that you will be doing. And he spoke about the work they have done. It is a very powerful story. He spoke about this young kid who was all of, I think, 13, 14, and a single parent, family that she came from. So, and her mother used to work in the nights in the US. And she was one of those who used to go through the Hope program that Kids at Hope used to conduct in her school. I believe she would meet her mother in the evenings and then her mother would set off to work. The child would be at home and she would meet her mother next day morning as mother came back from work and then got her ready to school. One morning when she woke up, she saw her neighbor in the house. And the neighbor aunt said, "Your mother is seriously unwell and she's in the hospital. We need to go." And we're talking of a 13-year-old child. And she went to the hospital and her mother was on this in the ICU on a ventilator. And the doctor actually told her, "Your mother is very seriously unwell and is not going to make it. We wanted to make sure that you meet her before she goes." Okay. And they said, "Would you want to sort of spend time with your mother and speak to her?" And I believe she kept reciting the Kids at Hope anthem. Okay. Which has very powerful words in it, including things like, "I will reach my dreams, I'm a kid at hope," etc., etc. And then, of course, the mother passed away. And Professor Miller happened to meet her almost a year later when he had gone to the school. And he asked this, if I may use the word, orphaned, right? Young single child who's all of 14, what made her recite the rhyme, or the poem at the, And she said, I wanted my mother to go knowing that I'm capable of taking care of myself. And when he was saying it, honestly, both of us were in tears. I said, this is incredible. In the face of tragedy, if you have been wired to think hopefully, right? You're saying, I can go through this, right? I'm going to make the right choices, even if it's painful. You know, I am going to let go of my mother and yet be hopeful. In fact, I want my mother to go with hope in her heart. I mean, it was so incredible to